In this tutorial, we'll be learning how to create universal beam for our roof. As you can see, this is my 3D model. So if I go all the way up, just to show you what I've got here. Now, this is not a roof yet. This is actually the ceiling panel for my first floor. Now, to create your universal beam and your roof, we will need to make sure we create everything above the ceiling. Now, if I were to create a 3D cut section for you, this way you will be able to visualize this a lot better. So as you can see, this is the ground floor, this is the first floor, and this is the first floor ceiling. And we will need to make sure we create all the beams and roof within this area. If I jump over to my section view, as you can see, it's exactly the same thing. This is the ground floor, first floor, and this is the first floor ceiling. Now to start, we will need to make sure we go back to our plan view. Now, sometimes you may be working in the ground floor level or the first floor level. But one thing you need to understand is this. If your universal beam is designed for your roof, you will need to make sure you create the universal beam on the RFL story. You can't create the universal beam on the GFL or 1FL. This way, if you create the universal beam on an RFL, everything's going to be a lot cleaner. And after that, I'm just going to show you how to actually create and import the steel profile, which is already available in archicad. So first you go to options and then you go complex profiles. And in here, you will be able to see something like import standard steel profile. So if you click on this, and what you see here is the standard steel profile database. Now by default, sometimes archicad may choose any country around the world as a default setting, but for us, we will need to make sure we choose Australian. So once you choose Australian, these profiles will change according to Australian standard. Next down, you have the option for the geometry. So if you click on the drop-down menu, you have the I and the H shape, C or the U shape, T or the L shape, rectangular or the circular hollow. Now for the universal beam, it looks like an I. So we need to choose the first option, which is I or H shape. And over here you have this picture and it's giving you G1, G2, 3, and 4. Basically, these are referring to the measurements and the thickness for this profile here. Now, the next thing I want you to pay attention to is the naming convention for the profiles. So notice that archicad is using UB for these profiles. Now, UB is referring to universal beam. So if I scroll further down, I will start to see something like UC, and it's referring to universal column. Now, let's say if I were to use a profile for universal beam, let's say 310 by 46. If that's the case, you need to go and click on that profile, and after that, you need to import this profile into your project. So to do that, all you have to do is to click on this tab, which is Add Profile to the project. If I click on this, this profile will be imported successfully. And at the same time, you can assign different building materials to this profile if you wish to. Such as, if I click on this, instead of steel, I can choose steel structural. And of course, if you import the wrong profile by accident, you can always click remove to remove the profiles in here. But for example, I'm happy with this. So what I'm going to do now is to click import to finish this. Done.